live Freedom Forum on the great date of 4/17/2019. Well, with the session being in, there's a lot of interesting deals there. I got one thing for the session, which I'll get to later. They already after Barra. They said Barra blockade, a capital fiasco. But I'm going to start out tonight with real close to home here. We're going to trust that he did the right thing. Anyways, Easter's coming up. Good Friday, Easter holidays. We're going to stay local. We're not going anywhere for Easter. Don't have much choice, actually. But let's say a prayer for our country. Lord, we definitely need your help. We need you to intervene to try and get this country back to where we all work together and we don't have like World War III. We need to get people on the same page. We need to be unbiased in all our thinking. But I don't feel that that is really in the picture. I think that we have a lot of agendas that aren't particularly with our Constitution. And we asked for your strength and your direction and your intervention, and hopefully we can get this country back to where it was before. In your name we pray, amen. There's a lot of, well, we know on May 8th there's a trial for the fix the charter. They fixed it all right. And there's been some intervention there, which I'll talk a little bit about. It says charter lawsuit hearing postponed. There is no hearing. This is going to the 15th Judicial District Court. Judge John Trahan set aside a hearing Thursday on lawsuit filed against LCG over how to correct precinct errors associated with December 8th. And there has been a trial. The 15th Judicial District Court Judge John Trahan set aside Thursday's hearing on request for an injunction and reset the issue for a trial on merits of the case for 10 a.m. May 8th. Motions will be heard at 10 a.m. April 29th. Lafayette businessman Keith Kishbaugh filed a lawsuit April 5th asking the judge to throw out the ordinance approved by the LCG Council in March that corrects precinct errors and omissions. In March, that added to the home rule charter after voters December 8th approved the charter amendment creating a separate and parish councils. It's a possibility the whole thing gets trashed, but we'll see. I have here someone that took the time and spent time to go through and write a nice 2-page article on the issues with LCG charter amendments. I've had a lot of discussions over the last several weeks, and a lot of people, some that watched the last council meeting where I spoke, liked my idea of the council was like a drag race, getting from point A to point B in a hurry and not taking the time to do this thing right. First of all, my opinion is that nothing should have happened until 2020. that's when we have the census, and things will change. And believe it or not, if we have the census, then things will probably have to be redone again. But let me go through some of these issues with the charter amendments. Number one, amending charter amendments using an ordinance does not comply with provisions in both the LCG City Parish Charter and the state constitution. Number two, amendments were composed in a rushed, secretive manner, hence all the errors. The main players within the local and state agencies were not involved in the process. That is, the Lafayette Parish Clerk of Court and the Lafayette Parish Register of Voters were both left out of the planning process, as was the Louisiana Secretary of State's office. Why the rush to push something so complicated through? Why not employ effective, transparent government and include agencies that could have avoided the train wreck, which is the poorly planned and implemented charter amendments? Although approved by LCG voters on December 8, 2018, the amendments passed with a turnout of 22% of the registered voters, which is exactly what they wanted. And the vote was close, 53% for, 47% against. My little note to add to that, my understanding it was between $80,000 to $100,000 was spent by a PAC that was in favor of this split. And our side, how much do we spend? Zero. Number three, abysmal low voter turnout December 8th for charter amendments. See details below. 22% of 154,980 registered Lafayette Parish voters turned out on December 8th, which translates to 34,095 voters who turned out for December 8th charter amendment vote. 18,072 votes, 53% of the total 34,095. That means the charter amendments were approved by a mere 12% of the total registered voters. And why was it left to go on the December ballot and not November? My question. Number four, since January 2016, the LCG administration and City Parish Council have, through their deceptive, secretive governance, garnered a high level of distrust among constituents who comprise the voting public. The charter amendment issue was rushed through and a thorough explanation was never given as to why select council members were trying to hurriedly pass the amendments. In contrast, other council issues drug on unnecessarily, creating a pronounced lack of trust of the total LCG government. Examples of issues which caused a high level of distrust include the drag queen issue at the Lafayette Public Library, which still goes on today, the secretive, divisive, and deceptive LUS issue. I mean, out of the clear blue sky, we're trying to give the management of LUS over to a firm that their main deal is making money. Excuse me. Sneaking in a culture and entertainment property tax millage, which is wasteful, unnecessary, and duplicative growth of government, create in 2018. And the numerous tax issues which the City Parish Council proposed, many of which failed. People are tired of hearing about, we gotta tax you. Several issues within the charter amendments which passed on December 8th are cause to question what the true motives behind the amendments are. And it says, see below. section 4-08. It's a very interesting one. Sale or lease, page 27. The city of Lafayette shall not sell, lease, or in any manner dispose of the utility system or any substantial part thereof, including any contract whereby an entity would purport to manage any substantial part of the utility system without approval by the majority vote of the qualified electors residing within the boundaries of the city of Lafayette voting in election for that purpose. What is easily inferred is that the new city council, as envisioned in the charter amendments, could sell off or arrange a management deal for certain aspects of LUS operation that are not substantial. Where is the definition of substantial a part of the LUS operation? It's nowhere to be found. What is the secretive motive, and what does our untrustworthy council intend with this vague, questionable charter amendment? I think I'm digging a deeper hole here. Okay, page 2. 5B, section 4-10, Planning and Zoning Commission. The City Commission and the Parish Commission shall review the capital improvement budget prepared by the Mayor President, and prior to the submission of the budget to the City Council and Parish Council, shall advise the Mayor President as to conformance or non-conformance of the budget to the master plan for consolidated government. What this means is that Plan Lafayette, passed via Resolution R-026-2014 on July 1st, 2014, with all its government overreach, wasteful and unnecessary dreams and schemes, will dictate what capital improvements will be permissible in the city and the parish. The advisory commission, one advisory commission for the city, one for the parish, and for the planning, zoning, and development department, will tell the mayor president what he's doing right or wrong in complying with Plan Lafayette. Plan Lafayette is 200 pages. I have not yet had the opportunity to completely read that. And somebody told me I would just become completely bored. I don't think so. It is intrusive to remember that Plan Lafayette is a basis for equally wasteful and unnecessary restrictive regulations contained in LCG's Unified Development Code passed via resolution in 2015. I'll tell you, there's a great interest in that Unified Development Code. Why? Some of the restrictions that are put in there, there's people that can buy property, as it was explained to me, that would take almost a total of 10 years till they can start making money or developing the property. It'd be a family member. 10 years. Are you kidding me? What is the purpose of that? See these two books up here? It's called Sustainable. And behind the green mast, UN Agenda 21, which is now better known as Agenda 23rd, which in the second hour tonight, we will have a video that basically says how they're going to take over America. It's 17 minutes long, and you don't want to miss it. It is really good. This is not Jim explaining the deal. This is somebody else explaining it. Section 8-08. Retirement systems, page 68, third paragraph. The retirement plans in existence on January 6, 2020 shall remain in full force and effect and shall be carried out and regulated in accordance with applicable laws and procedure until such time as the majority of the authorized membership of the City Council and a majority of the authorized membership of the Parish Council may take joint action that affects such plans. Any such action shall not cause a reduction in benefits at the time of any such action. Police and fire department employees shall continue to be members of their respective pension and relief funds as provided by the state law. This provision should be of particular interest to employees of LCG. Why is changing the retirement system included in the Constitution of LCG? That is a very interesting question. There is a reason the authors of the charter amendments included this, but we don't know that reason. Here's why a red flag should go up with this amendment. The retirement system used by LCG is a state retirement system called the Parochial Employees Retirement System, PERS. It's an enticement to recruit qualified potential new employees into becoming LCG employees. PERS is a solvent system that pays vested employees, i.e. having 10 years or more of service with LCG and have reached the retirement age, of fixed benefit retirement. Only 2% of LCG employees retire with full benefits, generally considered to be 25 years of service or more. LCG employees who pay into PERS retirement system but leave before full retirement eligibility are reimbursed by LCG administration for the money they have paid into the PERS system. This allows the PERS system to benefit by using financial contributions employees have paid into the system as a multiplier or moneymaker. In the PERS system investment portfolio, those who leave early before retirement have contributed to the solvency of the PERS retirement system. There appears to be some hidden motive in wanting to change a well-functioning retirement system that is a vital recruiting tool for LCG to hire talented employees. Many jobs in the private sector pay more than comparable jobs as LCG. So the retirement system is a recruitment tool to secure the best employees. Why change what works? We don't know. We are left to guess at the motives behind this and many other charter amendments that narrowly passed on December 8th. I know some of that might be a little boring, but the fact is, we need to point out these are some of the questions that people in the know have with this drag race of a pass the amendment, split the council, and on all kinds of stuff. There are really major issues with this whole deal. I'm going to come back to this. Mr. T, I have a little, about 2 minute and 42 hours, 2 minute and 40-second video. I think you'll enjoy it. It's the Democrats having a meeting, and I watched it and I said, you know what? We always have serious stuff. Let's have a little fun. Go ahead and crank that baby up.
All right, I brought you here because we need something new to investigate Donald Trump.
Can we investigate the Russia thing again?
Damn it, Nancy, we've already done that.
Oh, sorry.
Why don't we investigate Donald Trump being a racist?
We've already done that. It didn't work.
I know he a racist.
Are these guys taking my picture? Can we investigate why Donald Trump hates Sharia law?
Sharia law is not legal in America, so we can't do that yet.
It will be legal soon. Maybe we should investigate his poop.
What do you want to go rooting around in his poop for, Nancy?
Because Mr. Poopy Pants is obviously hiding something in his poop.
That's just gross, Nancy.
I'm sorry.
Come on, guys, let's pull it together.
Can I get anybody started with some drinks?
Damn it, Alexandria, you're not a bartender anymore.
OMG, I totes forgot. Sorry.
Why is she here?
Has everybody met my boyfriend? Alexandria, nobody cares about the ginger boyfriend.
As if.
Let's get on topic here. We're here to investigate Trump. He's a racist.
Come on, guys, let's pull it together. If I don't get elected president before I die, I just won't be able to live with myself.
Did the Stormy Daniels thing work?
No, Nancy, it didn't work.
What about the Brett Kavanaugh thing?
That didn't work either.
Well, shit, I'm running out of ideas here.
He doesn't support Sharia law. Maybe we can investigate that.
Sharia law isn't legal.
Not yet. I think I'm being investigated for giving my boyfriend money.
That's because you're stupid.
I'm not stupid. I was a bartender, okay? Did anybody bring any snacks? I'm starving over here.
I bought some Tide Pods. They're pretty good. You want to try some?
Tide Pods? God damn it, Nancy.
They're actually pretty tasty.
See, I told you you would like them, Nancy.
They are quite delicious.
Guys, we are here to come up with an idea to investigate Trump. Come on.
What about Michael Cohen? Can we still use him?
No, that won't work. That guy ended up being a fucking idiot.
We just need to tell everybody that Trump is racist. It'll work.
It's not gonna work. We've already tried it. Stop talking about it, Maxine.
I'm just saying, he's a racist. I wonder if I should call my boyfriend right now. Do you think if I call him right now, it would be a little stalkerish?
Oh my gosh, stop talking about it. Everybody knows you have a boyfriend.
Do they, Nancy? Huh? Do they?
Yes, they do. And I'm sorry to tell you, he's ugly as shit.
What are you talking about? He's gorgeous. He looks like Howdy Doody.
Alexandra, I swear to God, one more word out of you.
Ooh, I got a great idea.
Well, let's hear it.
You know how Donald Trump was in that movie Home Alone?
Yeah, he played a racist in that movie.
I don't remember him being racist in that movie.
Well, he did.
Nancy, go on with your story.
What if we say that Donald Trump touched Macaulay Culkin inappropriately?
You know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but that might actually work, Nancy.
Thanks, Chuck.
Does anybody have that little blonde kid's number?
I can call my boyfriend. He might know it.
How the hell is your boyfriend gonna know his number?
I don't know. I just wanted to call him and say hi, that's all.
I can just see the headlines now. After 30 years, the truth comes out about Donald Trump.
Maybe now he will approve Sharia law.
We can get the little blonde kid in front of Congress in a matter of days.
We need to just focus on him being a racist, and that's all.
Shut up, Maxine. That's not gonna work.
All right, this is a great idea. This is gonna be great.
If I steal a Snickers bar from a grocery store, is that socialism or stealing?
It's amazing the time some people have to I just thought, you know, maybe with all the seriousness going on today, that we put a little humor into this. I could sit and point out things about each one of those characters. I mean, Maxine Waters is getting her lunch eaten in the financial committee. Didn't even know that they turned over the school loans to the federal government. I mean, that's the head of that deal. Guess who? Hello.
Hello, my fellow radicals, deplorable. I just got finished eating. Then I turned the thing, I put it on your shoe, and I saw them 6 clowns. I'll tell them what I did. Oh man, I'm going through up. Where is this country coming to when you got? Well, that's not the only 6-year-olds they got in Congress. I mean, but you know, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not gonna talk long. I'm gonna wait and call back later the next hour, but. Eric Swalwell, another clown just joined the circus. Eric Swalwell.
Oh yeah.
Coming up, yeah, and there's, I know I sound like a broken record. I'm a sicker. There's nobody, they're not going to beat Donald Trump, okay? I don't care. Biden can't beat him. Bernie Sanders can't beat him. And the rest of them, you definitely can't beat him. Yeah, I know his approval rating right now is only 45. Okay. His approval rating on the economy is 58%. And over 70% is better off than when Obama left office. I'm telling y'all again, all you troublemakers, they're going to pull your hair out and have coronaries for 6 more years. Donald Trump's going to win re-election. Period. No ifs, and questions. You know, I gave him 50-50 first time. This time I give him about 80-20. I mean, it's a joke. Just like this Buttigieg fella. Oh, they're falling in love with him on MSNBC and CNN. I had to laugh today. one of them clowns said, "Oh yeah, Buttigieg spouts conservative values." Okay, real quick. He's married to a man. Okay. He supports abortion on demand. He supports partial birth abortion, and he supports letting the baby die after a botched abortion if the doctor and the woman agree to it. He supports banning assault rifles and plus, if it was up to him, he'd take all you guns away. Plus some other things I just can't say about offhand. And you're going to try to tell me that's conservative values?
You know,
I mean, what's your opinion on that?
we, here's the thing, not only on that, but we need to be paying attention in this state. Because there's a lot of push for a constitutional convention at the state level. And I can tell you, people like Labe, who are big money people in Baton Rouge, we will be in a world of hurt if that constitutional convention comes to the forefront. And it's already possible. And, you know,
Yeah.
those clowns, I think that it's a three-ring circus when you look at all the Democrats that are putting their hats in the ring. And I think it's a diversion from the real deal.
Just like Bernie Sanders. Oh, what a hypocrite. Bernie Sanders, all he does is complain about millionaires and billionaires. And this goes. You know this. He writes a book. Sorry for that. He writes a book condemning, criticizing capitalism, but he sure don't mind all the money raking in from the book sale. So why don't you just spread that out? Give that away.
I saw a good description of Bernie. He's a capitalist promoting socialism.
Really. Well, just one more comment. I know I told you this a while back. I'm kind of ashamed of myself when it comes to local and state politics. I do not follow the local politics like I should, and I don't follow the state politics like I should. But I'm going to try to do a better job. Catch you next hour. Thank you, Jim.
All right, buddy. I'm going to go back to this. It's a big function of what's going on right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. I mean, when they passed Plan Lafayette, that was the worst thing that could have happened to this city. Because I initially went to some of those meetings and they hired people out of New York. Let's think about that. You brought in advisors from New York? Anybody pay attention to what's going on with de Blasio and the government in New York? The rest of the state in New York actually wants to separate themselves from New York City. And I told the guy in public in front of everybody that was in that room that if I hear the word sustainability attached to this plan, that is bad news for Lafayette. And some of you people just think, oh, that's going to be great. Well, you just look on the other side of Camellia. They're building three buildings. I don't know how many units, but they're only for people 55 and over. Retirement deal, which will have all the shopping right there. Read these books, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Back to the charter changes. Lawsuit seeks new vote on charter changes. Council opted to fix precinct issue with ordinance. Kishbaugh and his Lane Roy is the attorney, filed it. But what has happened now is it says Kevin Blanchard of Fix the Charter Group that supported the charter amendment welcomed the lawsuit. He said he's confident a judge will not require the charter amendment to go to vote again. Don't hold your breath, Kevin. Now, at the meeting I was at, some council members chose to ignore, disrespect, whatever, the Attorney General and the Secretary of State and the state senator. Not very smart. So now what happened? Kyle Ardwan is asking a judge to halt fall elections for the new city and parish councils and throw out all or part of the December 8th voter-approved Lafayette Parish Charter Amendment. The Attorney General's office filed a petition last Wednesday to intervene on Ardwan's behalf in a lawsuit filed April 5th by Lafayette businessman Keith Kishbaugh. Keith Kishbaugh's lawsuit against the consolidated government asked the judge to throw out the ordinance approved by LCG. Ardwan says invalidating the ordinance won't solve the problem. He is asking a judge to overturn the ordinance and either invalidate parts of the amended charter or declare the entire December 8th charter amendment null and void and without legal effect. This is what happens when you're arrogant. When you're arrogant and you think you're in a more powerful position than some of the most powerful people in the state of Louisiana in the offices held. So it will be interesting to see what comes out of this. I heard that Judge Trahan is a very fair judge and goes with the facts. Precinct discrepancies were discovered in September, but officials believed at the time they were minor and could be corrected internally. By February, though, it became apparent to some officials that the errors were more extensive than previously thought. I thought the biggest thing was setting up these 5 districts within the city of Lafayette and 5 outside in the unincorporated areas was interesting to the fact that the number I heard was 75 people were actually not covered at all as part of the new demographics for the districts. I find that very interesting. Attorney General, a week after LCG Council ignored an Attorney General's office opinion and passed an ordinance to amend its newly implemented charter, Attorney General Jeff Landry explained why the council's decision may not hold up if it goes to court. The Attorney General, Lafayette Council ignores advice at your peril in the charter. Put simply, a difference between precinct maps and precinct descriptions in the amendment language omitted parts of some precincts, including hundreds of Lafayette residents, being left out of the newly formed city government and throwing the legitimacy of the election into question. It's like building a car and forgetting to put the gas tank in. All the parts are there, but no matter how you wish, you can't put gas in the car and you can't drive it down the road. The city and parish are currently operating under transitional provisions of a newly approved charter, with the rest set to go into effect after the October council elections. Not following the constitutional parameters starts the government off on a very weak foundation, Landry said. Let's say we ignore this and we act like it doesn't matter. There's an issue that comes up before the new city council. Somebody doesn't like it, it might be a contract. If they hire me as a lawyer, the first thing I would do is challenge their right to do it because they improperly seated. My point is, we go back to relitigating this all over again, which only places the government in further turmoil. The only solution, according to the Attorney General, is to once again put the vote to the people, this time with the correct language. Whenever an action is made by an election of the people, to undo that action requires an election of the people, Landry said. The Attorney General said Lafayette had a chance to implement the remedy, calling a special election for May 4th and putting the charter amendment to a vote prior to qualification of October council elections, and that didn't happen. So now you have involved the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, and legislation. Very possible. You took a legislator that, I don't understand. It's really difficult for me to why what has happened on all levels, federal, state, and local government. When you sit here in a council meeting, you don't get the feeling that the people that are sitting in the front care about the people they represent. Oh, and I know Knockhand would come after me big time on that statement. But I'm telling you, I hear it. I mean, the things that add up, that are happening right here in this city. We say we have a shortage of funds. We're painting drains? Why are we painting drains? You're telling me somebody did that for free? I don't think so. We got a $500,000 sign right out this door. Supposed to build 3 of them. What happened to the other $300,000? Nobody can answer that question. We're always rededicating money. The public got buffooned on the Create deal. They used the drainage deal to sell the Create thing. We who dig into things knew what was going on. So now, guess what? We have council diverts $10 million from roads, bridges, and drainage. Way back, this is from a surplus at the library, of which they called several of us kind of liars that they didn't have a surplus of $43 million, but they finally admitted that they did. Way back on January 22nd, numerous members of LCG Council announced their intention, here we go again, to rededicate $18 million of the library's surplus to road and bridge maintenance and drainage improvement projects. We're putting, again, rededicating money to drainage. Even then, Councilman Bruce Cox suggested reducing the rededication amount to $10 million. Then there was a discussion of the ghost millage, which spooked the council enough to punt the decision to April 9th. How they arrived at original $18 million is a mystery. However, the financial folks at LCG suggest that there are no plans to spend at least $26 million of the library's $42.3 million fund balance. An astute reader may remember last year when most of the public officials said the library had no surplus at all. Now that everyone finally agrees that our assessment was correct, and there is indeed a surplus, it now comes down to slicing it up for more pressing priorities. How in the world did the library end up with $43 million surplus and ask for a new tax? Interesting, huh, T? I mean, they have a $43 million surplus and they wanted a new tax. Duh. So now, with all this money there, as mentioned earlier back in January, was Mr. Conk who wanted to reduce the roads and rededication from 18 million to 10 million. At the time, there wasn't plausible justification for that reduction. However, the months-long DFA has provided sufficient time to think one up. Yay, let's build another library. Now we will have 10 libraries in Lafayette Parish. In a presser just an hour before last night, the LPUA meeting, Kenneth Boudreau actually proposed building a 10th library in Lafayette Parish. While his motives may sound noble, the council has said multiple times that it does not have any control over the library, which to me, and I said this before when they were doing the tax thing and the drag queen crap, these are appointed by the council. The board of directors is appointed by the council, and the director, Elberson, I believe is appointed by the mayor president. Is that right, T?
Yeah, I believe so.
And either the mayor president can be in charge of that board, or he can appoint someone. So what you're telling me is you appointed all these people who are not paid. I don't know if Elberson's paid. I'm not sure about that. But here's the deal. You appoint all these people on the board. You, the city council, do this. And then you have no control over them. And you're giving them money. I posed that question in order to get an answer. Interesting. You're telling me right here it says it. Does not have any control over the library. The library has its own board, and that board pretty much controls everything, budget included. But where does the money come from? The millages that we're paying to support the library. But yet, the council has no control over the library's budget. And so they end up with $43 million in the bank, of which they lied and said they didn't have. I'm just trying to lay this out. And this is the stuff. This is the main stuff that we need to look at as constituents in this parish. The whole charter deal is a mess. Why? Because it was rushed. It was totally rushed. And only 3 people are the ones that rewrote that charter. And the other 6 councilmen were not involved. Only 3 people. We don't know if there's an election coming in October.
Nope.
Huh?
I said nope.
We really don't. And if the whole thing gets thrown out, it has to be 1 year before they can put it back on the deal. And so that'll push us into 2020. I'm not 100% sure on all this. I've had discussions, okay? discussions on this of what could possibly come out of the court. If the whole thing is thrown out, then in October, it reverts back to the nine districts that we have now. But I don't think there'll be an election for new councilmen. Could happen 6 months from then if they redo things and put it back on and get the thing right. So there's a lot of questions. But the basic deal here, the bottom line is that these group of people, our council, rushed this thing through. The city attorney said everything was fine, that we could do it by ordinance. Took them how many weeks? 4 to 6 weeks and 4 more attorneys? How much did that cost us? You don't think them attorneys work pro bono, do you? Yeah. So I'm sorry. I actually sat down for 2 days and read the sections of the charter, and I think that I understood that you can't do it by ordinance. But I'm not an attorney. So the question you should be asking your council is, why are we in such a hurry? Why were we in such a hurry? What is behind door number 1 or 2? We don't know. Those questions were asked in the article with the issues with the LCG amendments. Why? We had things like, we're going to find management for LCG. I honestly believe that had nobody questioned any of this, in 18 months from the previous year, Bernhardt would have been back at the table with the new council looking to take over LUS. Just my thoughts. And a couple of things that I heard or had spoken to me after the council meetings. People, we need, just like Trump keeps saying, we need to get our country back. We need to get our city back. We definitely need to get our city back because we're losing it. You see the bicycle paths, they want to have mixed, what do they call that?
Mixed use.
What?
Mixed use.
Mixed use. You know what that is? The Federal Building downtown here. I've said this endless times on here. I drove down Jefferson Street. Just driving down the street, counted 13 businesses that are closed or left. Okay? Now you're going to build, you want to build, the contract stated, from my understanding, that on the first level you will have stores, shopping, and then you will build on the top of that so many apartments, or what do they call them, mini condos? That is sustainability. My question is, who's going to want to come live in downtown Lafayette? There was a great sandwich place. They had a fire and they never came back. And I know why they didn't come back. Because they got tired of the homeless people destroying the back part of their business. Because nothing happened. That's what caused the fire too. It was cold out and they lit a fire back there. At least that's what I've been told. People, you need to be talking to everyone. You need to do your homework. You need to understand what's happening in this city. We need to get it back. We had, so far there's one person that's put his name in. See, Joe Robideau announced, out of the clear blue sky, Joe Robideau, Robideau?
Robidoux.
I got Robichaux and
Robidoux.
Robideau announced his retirement. I don't know if he actually said why.
He said he did everything he needed to do.
Really?
That's what he said.
He said he did everything that he needed to do. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. That's not nice. Really? Okay. Well, we'll leave that alone. I get in enough trouble. We have one candidate, and he was on KPEL this morning and confirmed, and I had a 30-minute discussion with him yesterday, who said he's definitely running for the mayor-president's race. And that's Lafayette attorney Josh Gilry, who unsuccessfully opposed incumbent Clay Higgins in 2018 for the 3rd Congressional District seat. Gilry is a Republican and an Iraq War veteran. Wrote in a news release posted Monday on Facebook that he received many inquiries over the weekend about running for mayor-president. Gilroy said he has appointed an exploratory committee. When this was written, it was exploratory, but this morning it became confirmed. If he runs, Gilroy wrote, he will lead from the front, be transparent, have a strong presence in our community, increase communication between the mayor-president's office and the people of Lafayette, and eliminate this big government mentality that seems to be creeping in to the Lafayette consolidated government. There'll be more on this subject, I'm sure. I've heard some more names popping around. I have no confirmation. The only one I have is Gilry's confirmation. He actually spoke at the last, before all of this came about, spoke at the last Patriots meeting. Him and I did a combo on the new Green Deal or the Green New Deal or whatever the heck it is. And Brian Pope, I think the trial date was reset for the suspended city marshal. They're really trying to get everything dropped, even what he was convicted on. People, you need to really take a look. I'm gonna start the second hour off with the Capitol thing. What I will tell you is next Tuesday, guess what? There's gonna be a discussion in committee for a gas tax. I mean, it just doesn't stop. Oh, mercy. And I'm telling you, the way this one's set up, and we'll discuss a little more, is, and I'm gonna make sure my schedule is clear unless something comes up, because I testified the last time, and a good friend of mine and I had a discussion yesterday evening. Someone very, very good friend, Rick Hyman, We talked about the gas tax. And he says, I asked him, how do I find out what the actual expenditures for infrastructure are in the gas tax? And his deal was, you need to ask some questions. But there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I got a title here, Barra Blockade, a Capital Fiasco. Here we are again, we disagree with the governor and the bad guys. But we're gonna come back and talk about some of this. There's an article, some feuds below the radar in the new legislature. Some really good stuff going on. But we'll be back and we have a 17-minute video on basically how they're gonna take over America. It's pretty good. So we'll be back in a